The music world stood still as news broke of the passing of Mick Ralphs, the legendary guitarist and founding member of Bad Company and Mott the Hoople. Known for his raw tone, melodic riffs, and timeless songwriting, Ralphs helped shape the sound of 1970s rock music. His influence echoed across generations, inspiring countless guitarists who followed in his footsteps. Fans, musicians, and friends gathered in somber unity to say goodbye at a private yet deeply emotional funeral ceremony held in his hometown of Herefordshire, England. Though small in size, the service was monumental in emotion. The air was thick with memories, tears, and the sound of softly strummed acoustic guitars, a fitting tribute to a man whose life was devoted to six strings and song. Among those present was Paul Rodgers, Ralph's longtime friend and bandmate in Bad Company. Their chemistry had once defined rock's golden age. Rodgers' soulful voice paired with Ralph's electrifying guitar became a signature sound of the 1970s. As Rodgers entered the chapel, his face carried a mix of sadness and pride. "He was more than a guitarist," Rodgers later said. "Mick was the heartbeat of our sound. Every chord he played had emotion, every solo told a story." The service began with a slow instrumental rendition of Like Makin Love, one of Ralph's best-known compositions. As the notes echoed through the hall, many couldn't hold back tears. The piece wasn't loud or flamboyant. It was gentle, reflective, and full of the soul that Mick had poured into his craft. Close friends shared heartfelt eulogies. Members of Mott the Hoople reminisced about the early days, playing smoky clubs, sleeping in vans, and chasing dreams across the British rock circuit. He was quiet, humble, but when that guitar was in his hands, he spoke louder than anyone, one member said. Ralph's family, while private, allowed fans to leave flowers and messages outside the venue. Dozens of vintage guitar picks, photos, and vinyl records were laid at the chapel gates. Across social media, tributes poured in from all corners of the world. Brian May, Joe Walsh, Slash, and Peter Frampton all paid respects, crediting Ralphs for influencing their playing styles. The service ended with a recording of "Can't Get Enough," the song that immortalized Bad Company in rock history. As the track played, the congregation stood in silence, letting the iconic riff ring out one last time. A week after the funeral, fans gathered again for a tribute concert in London, an event organized by Paul Rodgers himself. The concert wasn't just a farewell. It was a celebration of Mick Ralphs' music, life, and legacy. Rodgers walked onto the dimly lit stage, wearing a simple black jacket. Behind him, a large screen displayed images of Mick, young, vibrant, and lost in his music. The audience of thousands fell silent as Rodgers took the microphone. "I owe this man everything," he said. "Without Mick Ralphs, there would be no Bad Company. Tonight, we celebrate the sound he gave the world." Then came a stunning performance that fans described as one of the most emotional of Rodgers' career. Backed by former Bad Company members and guest musicians, Rodgers performed a setlist of Ralph's greatest hits, each one delivered with deep emotion and gratitude. They opened with "Rock Steady," the crowd singing every word. The energy in the room was electric yet bittersweet. During "Shooting Star," Rodgers' voice cracked slightly on the final chorus, a raw moment that drew tears from fans and fellow musicians alike. Then came the highlight of the night, Rodgers' solo acoustic performance of "Ready for Love." The hall fell completely silent. The gentle strum of his guitar, the flicker of candlelight, and his soulful voice created an almost spiritual atmosphere. Many in the audience closed their eyes, letting the music wash over them like a final goodbye from Mick himself. Halfway through the song, Rodgers looked upward and whispered, "This one's for you, brother." It was an unscripted, emotional moment that captured the bond they shared, a friendship built on decades of touring, recording, and creating together. Several guest artists joined the stage, including members of Free, Foreigner, and Def Leppard. Together they performed "Movin' On" and "Run with the Pack." Each guitarist took a solo, but all stayed faithful to Ralph's signature style, clean, melodic, and full of heart. As the show neared its end, Rodgers addressed the audience once more. Mick believed in the power of simplicity. He always said, "Don't play more notes, play the right ones." That's what made him great. That's what made him eternal. The tribute concluded with a powerhouse rendition of Can't Get Enough. Midway through the song, Rodgers stepped back from the mic and let the crowd sing the entire chorus. Thousands of voices filled the venue, merging into one thunderous tribute that seemed to reach the heavens. After the final note, Rodgers placed his guitar on the stage floor, raised his eyes to the screen showing Mick's smiling face, and whispered softly, "We'll keep the music alive." The crowd